All right, if you're watching the video, then you are ready for a brand new DCEU update. All right, now I'm going to change up the format a little bit today, and you guys will have to let me know if you like what I'm going to do in this video versus me just talking about everything and not cutting away to anything. Now, I did a little bit of this in my last video where I shared my screen, and the majority of what I'm going to do today is going to be kind of the same thing. I have a bunch of tabs lined up of all of the things I'm going to talk about, and I'm going to show you some of the deceptive practices that also some of these outlets and headlines do to kind of rope you in and give you false information just to get people talking. So we do have quite a bit to talk about today. And the first of these stories is going to be about Jesse Eisenberg and some comments he made late last week about playing Lex Luthor again. All right, so what we see here is Jesse Eisenberg was actually doing an interview, and he was asked about his return as Lex Luthor. And he goes, "I'd be shocked if I wound up in a DC movie, but it would be a pleasant shock." All right, now, actors choose their words wisely. And I honestly believe that he is choosing his words here, saying that, yeah, he's actually going to be in a movie, and I believe that he is going to be back as Lex Luthor. So he was actually okay with his portrayal of Lex Luthor, but he felt very personal when he was attacked by fans and critics. And he fully became Lex Luthor, towards the end of Batman vs. Superman. One of my favorite scenes in those movies is when Batman goes to see him in Arkham Asylum and scares the holy living crap out of him. I love that scene. That's Batman. That's Lex Luthor. And then, we see him at the end of Suicide Squad. They're kind of setting up the Legion of Doom. So I honestly think he is going to be back. I don't think he'd be talking about this if they aren't trying to drum up some excitement around this and to get people used to the idea of people coming back. So that's the first story I wanted to talk about. Now, the next story I want to talk about is the Batman. So there has been a lot of talk about the Batman being pushed back to Batman 2. And Matt Reeves, this is very interesting. He did sign a multi-year deal with Warner Brothers Discovery with what's called a first look deal. Now, what that means is anything he creates, they're going to get first dibs on it. That doesn't necessarily mean the Batman. Now, people are assuming that this deal with Matt Reeves and Warner Brothers Discovery confirms that he will be back to do Batman again. That remains to be seen. That doesn't necessarily mean that that is what is going to happen here, because a first look deal means that they're going to get first dibs on anything he does, and it's a multi-year deal. So people tend to think that this does tie in with, the Penguin show that's going to be on HBO Max, and also the Arkham Asylum. That was originally going to be a Gotham City Police Department show and has now switched over. It's kind of morphed into an Arkham Asylum show. And a lot of people took that as them ripping off what Ben Affleck was actually going to do with the Batman movie. But that people tend to think that this means that all of that is safe. That is not necessarily what this means. This just simply means that things are they're still looking at things. They haven't determined what they're going to do with the DC stuff. So until there are some real definitive announcements, you might as well take all of this with a grain of salt. The only definitive thing we know out of this story is the fact that Matt Reeves has signed a multi-year deal with Warner Brothers Discovery with a first look deal. That's the only thing that's definitive out of this. We don't know how that's going to tie in to anything else, but you can speculate about that. All right, now the next story is one of the more interesting ones. The Caped Crusader, if I can talk here, the Caped Crusader being canceled. Look at this. And this is one of the things I wanted to talk about how these outlets try to get you. HBO Max has canceled 6 upcoming animated features, including Batman Caped Crusader, Variety has learned. No, they have not canceled 6 upcoming animated series. Let's actually click on this, and let's see what comes up. It says Batman Caped Crusader animated series from Bruce Timm, J.J. Abrams, and Matt Reeves are not moving forward at HBO Max, will be shopped elsewhere. If you go in to read these articles, you're going to find out that these shows are still being produced through Warner Brothers Discovery. They're still going to be made, along with a lot of other stuff that you can see in this article here. So these are still going to be produced. They are still moving forward. They are just not going to air on HBO Max like they were originally going to air. Now, I was really looking forward to this Caped Crusader show, and this is why I did a lot of looking into this. I'm a massive Batman the Animated Series fan, and I was very curious about this getting canceled. So I did some digging and found out it is not canceled. It is still being produced by Warner Brothers Discovery and will be released somewhere, just not on HBO Max. And for those that don't know a whole lot about this series, Bruce Timm has talked about how they had a lot of limitations when they did Batman the Animated Series because of the way the rules were when showing shows to kids, and how those restrictions have been taken off so they could make the animated series that they always wanted Batman the Animated Series to be. And I kind of read it as to this could be kind of almost a prequel to Batman the Animated Series, but we'll see when it finally comes out. I am very much looking forward to this one. All right, now the next one I want to talk about here is the Batgirl footage getting deleted. So the directors have come out and talked about how they were very disappointed after the show got canceled. They actually went back to the servers to retain the footage, and they have been locked out of the footage. So they cannot get to the footage after the cancellation news broke. They wanted to go, try to retrieve that footage, and they have officially been barred from it. They can't access it at all, which I think is kind of messed up. I think this is going to probably encourage directors in the future to kind of hold on to their materials, even though they're not supposed to, in case studios do something like this again. We saw this happen with Zack Snyder over and over again, how they kept changing his stuff and locking it away. He still had all of his stuff, though, on a laptop, so he still had some creative control there, but was unwilling to release it until they finished it. In fact, for those who don't know, Zack Snyder's Justice League was actually, they wanted him to release it without any finished effects, and he said, nope, I would rather nobody ever see it than have that occur. So the last story I want to talk about here is the bigger story, and it's about Henry Cavill's return as Superman in Black Adam. There has been a lot of talk about him returning to Black Adam, and people were wondering, was this going to be him? Will it be a new actor? Is he going to wear the red and blue suit or the black suit? So what we have here is there are lots of other YouTubers that are talking about some of this stuff. And again, this was, I talked about Sil Abdul breaking a lot of this news and how he would beat around the bush before getting to the point. He likes to do that. I will never be that person. But he was the one who originally broke this story, and it appears now, it's being reported by many different outlets, that Henry Cavill will in fact he will appear to be in the Black Adam film as Superman. And what's crazy about this is, everyone's debating about the black suit or the red and blue suit. Well, let's talk about this here because they're talking about possible spoilers ahead, but Superman is supposed to appear in the Black Adam movie in a brighter red, yellow, and blue suit, a more hopeful-looking suit, which would not jive with what Zack Snyder did. Now, I totally believe they're bringing Zack Snyder's timeline back, and Zack Snyder has actually talked about this and how it wouldn't make sense for him to be in the blue, the red, and the yellow suit just yet. He actually had a plan to bring that full circle, and that it wouldn't make sense for that to happen just yet. He would still be in the black suit. Now, here's the beautiful news about this. I mean, it's pretty much being confirmed now that Henry Cavill will be Superman again, that he probably inked a deal exactly a month ago in the last week of July. That's when he was rumored to be around, making this deal, and that he in fact will be in Black Adam, and that it will be him, but they still have time to be able to change the suit to be the black suit. They can easily do that with color correction in the films. It's kind of what they did, I believe, for Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't think he filmed in the black suit. They just went in and did a color correction to make it black in post. I don't know if that's a fact or not, but I think I read that somewhere, that originally he was wearing the red, the blue, and the yellow, but that was changed in post. So they can easily do that with the suit or change it the other way. So I'm hoping they bring in the black suit so that we can finish the Vision the way it's supposed to be, and that it does meet the timeline, because he should be back, unless Black Adam takes place before Zack Snyder's Justice League. Then it would make sense for him to have the classical, the classic suit. But we'll find out where that leads. But lots of news to bring you guys. All right, let me know if you like this format a little bit more. I can also kind of switch back and forth a lot more as well. I can break between each story. Let me know how you guys would like me to present this material going forward so that I'm not always in front of the camera. Some people prefer that, but I'm still going to be bringing you all the news, and I'll even show you some of the places where I'm pulling this stuff up from. But we'll be talking about all these things going forward. Lots of stuff happening and moving behind the scenes, and a lot to look forward to. So we'll be covering all of it in the upcoming weeks, months, and years. So stick to my channel, and you guys will be getting the no-nonsense truth and information that is being tossed around social media and just the internet in general. We'll see you guys on the next video.